MADISON, welcome back. Thanks for being here. Charlie and I truly appreciate you choosing to spend a bit more time with us today, so thank you. Now, the first few minutes that you saw of this video were purely gratuitous. When I'm not filming, when I'm not teaching magic and deceptive practices, I'm practicing myself, and every now and again I like to film ideas to see what they look like on film, to see if they're worth teaching, to see if I can pluck any value out to share with people who watch my videos. And there was one move in this video that I want to pluck out there and teach and share with you in this video today. Now, the move in question is quite controversial because I developed it with the idea of it being a genuine actual shift that I could develop and perfect and then take to an actual card table, to an actual card game and use. There are a few different variations of the move itself. I'm only going to teach you one in this video. It's designed to look like you're just straightening a deck up after shuffling it, but what you're actually doing is cutting the deck, nullifying the cut or controlling playing cards to the top or to the bottom, depends how you use it. The move in question is called the Blackout shift. Now, it's very difficult, it's very finicky, you're going to have a lot of trouble practicing, but you're also going to get quite stressed out when those playing cards don't spin or work correctly. What you're doing is a knuckle cut. You're swinging the back half of the deck all the way around to the front, and the idea is to hide that as if you're just straightening the deck up on the table. In most cases, I say take your time with the slide, be slow with it, move slowly. In this case, you've got to be really quick, really sharp, really fast in order to get that back pocket to spin all the way around to the front before anybody sees it. Now, I said that this is a controversial move because it was designed with the intention of me taking it to a card table, but in reality, there's no way that you would get away with doing this at a card game. So it kind of bled over, it fell over into the magic world, into the world of magic, where I can use it as a way of demonstrating just how beautiful sleight of hand could be. With that in mind, I'm not sure if this would work in front of an audience, in front of a spectator, as a secret move. This is why I didn't really want to share it at first, but I think there is some value to be taken from it, especially in the mechanics themselves and the way that your fingers are going to work around the deck, and ultimately be given a little bit of an exercise to stretch those fingers. It's a difficult move, Charlie, not going to lie. Now, most people who are already familiar with me will know already that I spent half of my life at Electric Picture House Tattoo Studio. My tattoo studio, it's not mine, it's my friend Rob's, but I call it mine. I've hijacked it. I'm more of an ambassador of Electric Picture House. We just released a load of new merch. Some of them have little reveals in, like this has got a nice little 9 of clubs revealing. Go check them out, I'll leave a link in this video description. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. A lot of people are asking about the electric pitch house playing cards. Now this is a prototype deck. 2020 for me is going to be a year full of collaborations and working with other brands, other people, other artists, and this is one of those things. I'm not going to talk too much about this deck yet because it's not quite ready, but I'm going to use it in this video. Speaking of collaborations and working with other people, the Speaks playing cards that I've been using in a few videos have finally been released. I'll leave a link to the Kickstarter where you can back this incredible project. I'm going to be showing these in the video that's going to follow this one. I want to do a deck review of these. I also want to show you the trailer that I did a remix of for the Speaks deck. Now to follow this very video one, I'm going to teach you the first variation of the Blackout shift with the EPH deck. I'm going to follow that up in the next video by using the Speaks to teach you the second variation of the Blackout shift. So don't go too far. Get yourself a deck of playing cards, strap down your sausage, and let's get to Blackout shift. So after the last video, one thing that went down really well was the bird's eye view angle. So if you've not seen the last video, I taught two things, and I set this new angle up which kind of shows everything from my point of view. You'd think I'd have done that a lot sooner, Charlie, considering what I'm teaching, but I'm going to set this up again just so you can get as close as you can and you can see things from my point of view. Now while I'm setting this up, let me tell you, Charlie, about the Blackout shift itself. So most of my sleight of hand comes from the necessity to create sleight of hand that's going to work at a card table, that can actually con people, that I can actually cheat at cards with. And I carried that philosophy, that way of thinking, over into the magic world by always imagining that when I'm doing magic, when I'm performing magic, that I'm one of the audience members and I'm really strict. Like if I see something, I'll call that magician out. I'll say, yo, I saw that gambler's cop, Charlie. You know, so I have to imagine that I'm trying to fool myself. When you think about it, and this isn't an arrogant thing, but it's difficult to fool yourself. For anybody it is. So don't settle for less. Don't settle with your sleight of hand for just getting away with it. Oh, that'll do. Don't ever think that to yourself. Don't think, oh, that's good enough, that'll do. Don't settle for that's good enough. Always settle for perfection. Try. You'll probably never reach perfect, but as long as you're trying, you're gonna land somewhere close by. So the Blackout shift was, for me, I was trying to create a shift that I could actually do at a card table that could nullify the cut. So let's say all the kings are on top of the deck, I've managed to control them to the top. Now my player, my opponent, my victim, potential victim, is going to have the final cut. So they're going to cut the kings into the middle. Now when I take the deck back to deal, I need to get those kings back to the top. There's so many different ideas, different methods to also achieve this. I always prefer to gamblers cop the kings out of the deck before I give the deck to my victim. He cuts the deck, and then I load them back to the bottom where I can bottom deal them. But the practices and the search for deceptive methods and deceptive techniques, we don't want to settle for just one method. So this is just one of many, one of hundreds of ideas to nullify the cut. Now, the idea of Blackout, that just comes from a Jim Morrison thing that he said, I don't remember being born, it must have happened during one of my blackouts, and that really stuck with me. I really liked that. So I call this a Blackout shift. Also because the idea of Blackout, I don't want anybody to see it. I want my victims, my participants, my audience to be blacked out when they're watching it. Charlie, there's no need for that. So all that being said, all the setup, this idea comes from the method is a knuckle cut, what I believe is called a K cut. Now I've seen this done as a flourish in a few different places, just being what it is. So let me show you what that looks like to start with. Now that I've finally got set up, Charlie. Okay, go. So the K cut, we're gonna hold the deck in a straddle grip. I told you this in the last video. Finger 1 here, finger 4 at the bottom, 2 and 3 at the side, and a thumb on this side. Now, you do need to be able to stretch your fingers quite drastically, quite dramatically. Now for me, the exercise for sleight of hand isn't just about using playing cards, but it's about stretching and exercising your fingers. Now, if you see how far I can stretch my fingers apart, this is unnatural. You shouldn't be able to do this. But I've spent so long in my life doing this one exercise. So I'll open my finger one like this, and I'll put my hand in here like this, and then I'll push down, forcing my fingers apart. And this would be a part of my daily meditative practice on exercise with hands, especially now that I'm an old man, Charlie. I need to do this even more. So again, with this, you do it in the middle 2 fingers, and then finally here, and you do this. So once your hand's in there, leave it there for about a minute, which is actually a long time when you're doing it, because you get this burning sensation in your hand, and that means it's working. And before you know it, you can stretch your fingers in all kinds of ways that you shouldn't be able to do. And you don't want people knowing that you can stretch your fingers in all these weird and wonderful ways, because then when you do sleight of hand or a magic trick, they're going to be thinking, well, obviously you can do that. Your fingers work like spaghetti. What? So yeah, stretch. We need to be able to stretch. So I'm in a straddle grip, and finger 1's going to shift to the side like this, parallel, opposite my thumb. Now finger 2, I'm going to let go with 2, 3, and 4 fingers. Finger 2's going to come all the way over here to connect with my thumb, and it's going to pull down the bottom half of the deck. So I'm going to cause a cut in the deck, and you can see it happening. It's hard to do slow like this, and finger 2 is going to correct itself. It's going to swing back. This is where the stretchy fingers is quite important, because half of the deck is between fingers 1 and 2. So I'm going to allow that to spin all the way around, back around here, and then finger 1 is going to slowly work its way under that packet, and this packet goes on top. The beautiful thing about this move is you can cause a pop out of the bottom playing card in the deck, wherever that may be. So if you want to control the playing card to the bottom, 9 of hearts we have here, you take advantage of your finger being in the middle. At this point, when it gets here, all you got to do is manipulate, straighten. This card comes out, and then you can use finger 2 to do this, and then it pops away. Little did we know, Charlie, that we'd be teaching a little bit of a flourish too. But yeah, this is essential for the blackout shift, this. So get used to that first, and then maybe pause this video here and then come back when you're ready, when you're happy with yourself. Are you happy with yourself, Charlie? So this shift, this cut, this is variation 1, the card table variation. Variation 2 is in the hands. It's very magician-y, very cardishly flourishing type thing. We'll get to that soon, but for this variation, you do need to be using a table to surface. You can get away with taking this out and doing it on your knee, like tapping the deck on your knee, but why would you? So the table version looks like this. And don't worry about the playing cards yet. Don't worry about which playing cards we're going to be cutting to. We'll get to that once you know the method, the deceptive method. So you hold the deck here, it's on the table, your hands resting nicely on the table, just here, your arms quite free. This hand's going to come over and it's going to offer a lot of help, because if you try and do the knuckle cut right now with the deck standing up the way that it is, cards are just going to fall over. So we are doing that. We're doing the knuckle cut without moving the deck or our arm. We're going to do a knuckle cut like this, and the free hand, the right hand, is going to guide that packet onto the front. So that's essentially that. Well, that is what is happening. So hold it here, keep your hand on the table, finger 2 reaches over. This packet, so in my case I have the 6 of club here. This packet's it's barely going to move. It might have to lift off the table to allow this packet. At this moment, we don't have to worry about that, but we want to keep this as still as possible. We don't want to take our hand off the table. So that looks like this. So notice how my hand did move, and the 6 did move up. The point is, I'm trying to keep them still. They are going to move. They're going to move with the nature of finger 2 and the muscle movement that's happening naturally, but as long as you're trying to keep them still, consciously thinking about them being still, then you're okay. All this being said, we are going to be jumping the deck up a little bit to make it look like we're just straightening the deck up. So we are going to hide it in a motion, but during your practices it's very important that you try and keep it still as possible. So once you get used to this motion, and once you're confident with the practice and you're managing to keep everything fairly still, then we're going to talk about speed. We need to get to a place where you're executing that cut super fast, like really fast, because it has to go past anybody potentially looking at it. We also want to blur the vision a little bit by making it look like we're just tapping the deck on the table like this. So this hand offers so much cover, but all the work is over here on this side. So like this. So the way that we disguise this and make it look like we're just straightening the deck out is by taking advantage of the natural movements of it, but also the right hand offers so much shade, so you can't really see that what's happening, or at least that's what we're trying to do. Like I said at the beginning, don't take this sleight seriously. Don't try to take this to a card game. You could probably get away with it in front of people, but if anything, it's more just to be appreciated by magicians and sleight of hand enthusiasts, so that they can see kind of how skillful you can be with your playing cards. I use a lot of sleights for that, to be honest, to just demonstrate a level of skill, to demonstrate a secret art that we're not really supposed to know about. And let's not waste any more time, Madison. What are you talking about? So pick the deck up, we're going to bring it over, we're going to turn this way slightly so that people are looking at the bottom of the deck. If you don't want them to see the card changing, then it needs to be a deck picked up like this so that they can see the back of the playing cards, but essentially your audience is looking at your right side. If you show them this side, they see so much that we don't want them to see. We want to hide this as much as possible, even if we're demonstrating it as a sleight of hand technique. We kind of want to hide it. We want them to appreciate the change, the transposition as much as possible, as a demonstration of sleight of hand, as an expose. So we're going to pick the deck up with the left hand, move over to the side, the right hand comes over, and we're just going to be straightening the deck up. And that's when the move happens. So this is one of those really weird game compliance things that we just see and we accept. We don't question why the hell somebody does that. A bit like when you see magicians doing this, they pick the deck up and they wipe away the magic dust. If ever you see a magician or someone at a card table doing this, it means they're doing something over here that they don't want you to see, or they're trying to buy themselves some time, right? What does this mean? It doesn't mean anything. It's as if the dust on my table is going to affect the deck or the trick in any way. It's a very weird thing, but we're so used to seeing it, and we're so used to this just being a normal thing that we accept it, we don't question it, and it's a very unconscious moment that we, as the artist, as the sleight of hand technician, can take serious advantage of that. And this is one of those moments when a deck has been shuffled and put on the table and cut or whatever. We can take that deck and we can straighten it up like this. You see it so often, especially when the deck's just been shuffled and it looks like this. We pick a deck up and we straighten it up like this and then put it back down. We don't need to pick the deck up to do that. We don't need to barely even do that. We can just straighten, pick it up, and then get to the work. But when we do it, when we execute it, when we show ourselves just tapping the deck, it's just accepted. People just let it in, they forget about it as well, they don't think about it. So it's just us taking advantage of that. That's one of the reasons why it works so well, I think. So I'm going to pick the deck up, left hand here, bring it over here. I'm going to straighten up first to get my fingers in place, and as soon as my right hand comes around the front like this, my fingers are already doing the work. I'm here, and then I pat it on top and put it down. So the real action, what it looks like, is me just picking the deck up, doing this, and putting it back down. What a weird thing for me to do, what a weird thing for anybody to do. But however, people accept it, they see it, they accept it, and then we move on. Let's talk about something important. How do we get the card that we want? How do we shift the card that we want to the position that we want? So obviously it has to be in the middle because we're shifting two packets. We're shifting the top packet for the bottom packet. So how do we take advantage of this? In this video, I don't want to talk too much, get into the whole idea of crimps or locating the card too much. I just want to focus on the slide, but I use a crimp. I always use a crimped playing card. The 9 of clubs is always crimped, which means I can cut to it at any moment. Whenever I cut the deck, it's always going to be the 9 of clubs. I'm not going to teach that or talk about that in this video, but this is one of the many ways that I would take advantage of this cut. So the 9 of clubs is in the middle. It's just been shuffled. Now when I take the deck back, I'm already finding that card, the 9 of clubs, the crimped card, when I'm picking it up. So I lift and I get a break where the 9 is. That happens naturally because of the crimp, because of the way I lifted the deck. Now I've got a break point, a breaking point in the deck where my finger 2 can come around, and because there's a big gap there, when I do the cut, I don't have to look, I don't have to think, I know it's going to cut at that point. So now I lift up, do this, and we have the 9 exactly where I need it. I will talk about the crimp at some point. I just want to make clear that I'm not stepping on anybody's toes or giving away anybody else's material that isn't rightly mine. But search crimps, playing card crimps. I use a reverse breather crimp. I'm sure there's lessons, tutorials on YouTube somewhere, but that's how I'm achieving this. 9 of clubs is shuffled by my participant, by Susan Sausage. It's somewhere in the middle. When I go to pick the deck up, I cut to the crimp here, I bring the deck back, and then I straighten up, and we have the 9 of clubs controlled by the Blackout shift, variation 1. Before we move on from this, I want to show you variation 2 of the Blackout shift, which I'm going to be teaching it in the next video with the speaks. I almost call them the slides. What a nice name for a deck of cards, Charlie. That's going to be variation 2 taught in the next video. All that being said, let's go to an outro. So that was the first variation of the Blackout shift. Join me in the next video where I'm going to be using the speaks. We're going to take a close-up look at this deck of playing cards. I'm also going to teach you the second variation of the Blackout shift, which is arguably better, which you will probably like more than the original Blackout shift. There's a link in this video description taking you to the Speaks Kickstarter campaign. What an amazing project. I'm so honored and happy to be a part of it. Hope you can get behind it too. There's also a link below this video taking you to the EPH merch store. I'll be back soon with more details on these playing cards and also how you can come along to EPH and spend some time with me. Maybe you can join the 9 of Clubs family. To find out more about that, head over to MADISON.IST. Also, before I forget, if you want your playing cards, if you have some of your own playing cards that you want to see in my hands featured on this very channel, the address to Electric Pitch House Tattoo Studio is in the video description. Send me at least 2 decks, one that I can use on film, another one that I can give away to a lucky viewer out of my videos. Thanks for spending some time with Charlie and I today. See you next time.